back to WLDC. This is Roger, aka Insectduel speaking, and folks, we played some of the WLDC levels, and now I'm gonna talk about my top favorites. My top favorites in a certain category. First category should be the most worst, then the most frustrated levels, meaning that I, constantly getting angry that I can't beat the level, and the final category should be my most favorite. Now there were specific rules when I got judged these levels. Number one, of course, I can't. You can't put yourself. You can't put your own level there. Now, although I made Winter Stadium, so it should not be on that list. And number two, DQ levels are not on that list either. You may be thinking that a level like Plunderwood should be my top worst level. No, it's been disqualified. So only 57 of the 60 entries should be on that list. Now, I'm gonna begin with the top 3 worst levels ever. So get ready because I'll be talking about this. Of course, I'll be putting the scores here as a reminder, and I'm gonna read what the judges' comments. Okay, so my top 3 worst levels on that list. Now, number 3, my third worst level in terms of design, difficulty. Now, the third one is From Point Cave to Point Home, rank 54. This is one of the worst levels I ever played. Now, I played this on camera twice, and you keep dying in the spike section. Because each time you play, you keep dying over and over and over again. This is the time that I have to rage quit because the design looks like Kaizo shit. It kind of looked like it. But when you get to the water, alright, you cannot swim, okay? But sadly, I had to rage quit on From Point Cave to Point Home because this is one of the worst contest levels ever made for being third place, alright? As my third personal worst favorite, alright? Now I'm gonna read the judges' comments. Okay, I'm gonna read the judges' comments. Amethyst says, this level seems frustrating on purpose. No indication that you need to keep the mushroom. It had a bunch of unrelated gimmicks. Wall jumps, Casio water, breath meter, plus a few soft locks. Yeah, I didn't see any soft locks. Extremely did not vibe with whatever this creator was putting out. Now, FrozenQuills. It's a level with quite a few silly gotchas. Apparently, the player can't swim. Mushrooms, flowers are absolutely required, so you can't get hit. And the midpoint is a trap. Now, let me tell you something. I never made it to the midpoint yet, so I quit right before I get to the checkpoint. All right, we say checkpoint rather than say midpoint, because there's more than one checkpoint in SMW ROM-Hacking. All right, I say it's a trap because the second half requires a fire flower, and there's only one power-up box as far as I've seen. As a result of the above, the gameplay is almost Kaizo. It does not feel good to wait for yourself to die once you lose a required element, and it feels worse to reset because you died after getting the midpoint trap. Again, checkpoint. Luckily, the rest of the level after the last wall of ice blocks is actually fine. Maybe a crucial mistake was made in testing. Putting the traps aside, a few ideas are actually decently creative, as the wall jumping obstacles are kinda cool, but the design took a big hit from the above annoyances. Kind of a shame since the presentation is also pretty cool. By the way, it's easy to get out of bounds. Okay. And finally, JupiHornet. This level really disappoints me because it could probably take for somewhat enjoyable experience if it wasn't so busy trying to troll the player. The level tries so hard to be frustrated that it's almost insulting. The fact that the player is expected to traverse through insanely tight spike-filled corridors with a random water gimmick and annoying wall jumping, only to then to get to the end where it turns out that you're forced to die if you're not big is a huge middle finger. Yep, I did stick a middle finger at that level. This is kind of a trollish level design that I hate. Not only that, but the level was very clearly not tested properly. There are several places where you can clip through slopes and get stuck in the ground, and you don't even have to put in a hole a lot of effort to find them. It happened to me by accident more than once. Also, if you die in the second half and you lose your reserve item, the level will actually become unbeatable because you'll restart the level small and you'll only be able to get the mushroom and the question mark block despite needing a flower to progress. This could have been easily been fixed by putting another question mark block where the checkpoint is, but again, the level clearly wasn't tested properly. All of that said, the level wasn't fully unsaturated. The aesthetics are great, and I actually do like some of the level design despite how cramped it is. There was definitely some satisfaction to be gained from transversing through all of the levels, tight setups. Again, though, the level is so focused on trying to troll the player that it's hard to see the good aspects of it. Yeah. Oh well, let's go on to my second worst favorite level ever. I bet Kuja Killer and I agree that this level belongs to Escapade. Yep. It's the level that I played on camera until the video got corrupted, because I actually have a lot to say about this level, and I got angry that I kept dying on that section over and over and over again. The spike part, and the controls are fucking precise. But the input is precise. You have to time your jump perfectly, and let me tell you something, it would be better off to play, no, not with save states, no, don't play the game with save states, play using a task editor. Yep, to play the game perfectly, I suggest record it on an emulator with a task editor, so I won't be playing that shit no more, you know. Escapade my ass, you know. So let me read the judge's comments on that level. Amethyst. Yeah, I really enjoyed the asphagus and the LORE, but the Celeste adjustment mechanics were extremely not doing it for me. I had the worst time trying to dash where I needed to go. It could have stood to be much shorter than it ended up being. Alright, FrozenQuills. And Kuja Killer mentioned this in the comment section about that level, and this is what FrozenQuills had to say. Yeah, after Kuja Killer posted a comment, because I never actually read every single result from the judges. Alright, FrozenQuills says it's a bit Kaizo inspired, but it's easy through that dying isn't a big deal at all. It's like Super Meat Boy in a way. It took me a bit to get used to controls especially since I use a natural controller. And yep, I use a natural controller, yep, because when it comes to Super Nintendo games, you have to use that, but most NES games I use a keyboard. Now, but once I got the hang of everything, this was quite fun. Obviously, there are Celeste impressions but I really like how you expanded upon the dash mechanics in the creative matter by using numbered collectibles, balloons, and elevators. The chases at the end were also a great way to tie everything together. But I do have issues though. There appears to be a bug in the controls where sometimes I cannot go left. Not sure why this happens. The wall climb is a bit finicky at times. There's also a moment where I thought I was auto running when I had full control of my character, which could have made this section a lot harder to execute when it isn't. Nevertheless, this was a great design, creativity, especially atmosphere. I'm dazzled by the imaginative cutscenes and story. I do agree that the cutscenes were good, but the gameplay is bullshit. That's why I rage quit after that section. So, and finally, JupiHornet. I can definitely appreciate what this level was going for, but I do think it's a bit rough around the edge in some aspects. Right away, the first problem is that the controls are very janky. Dashing upwards with even a little bit of momentum will send you flying diagonally, which is a bit of a problem given how the level is designed. By extension, 90% of the indicators in this level are completely useless and do nothing except cause a visual clutter. Okay, sorry about that. There were a lot of instances where following the indicators actually made the level harder. Aside from those issues, the level was a pretty fun experience, though I think it did start to overstay its welcome by the end. I think the design in the founding area started to venture into being annoying for the sake of being annoying, especially that one part with all the elevators. In my opinion, the level definitely started to wane by that point. That's it. I never got super frustrated or felt the need to use save states when playing this, despite how long it took me to beat, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So I think this level does its job and well in that regard. Side note, props for presenting a unique atmosphere and story. It didn't actually build in a level around it. Several other entries set up their presentation and didn't bother including any kind of payoff outside of the intro cutscene, so I appreciate the extra effort that was put in there. Okay, so here's my top favorite worst level of WLDC. Now excuse me, let me drink that ginger ale because it's better than drinking alcohol. And I like ginger beer as well. Non-alcoholic ginger beer. Alright. My worst favorite level of WLDC is Jiri Jutai. Yep. I said it's my most worst favorite because the way that the sprite spamming and gameplay had bad execution. I kept dying at the waterfall section over and over and over again, and on top of that, there was a red piranha plant at the beginning of the stage. This has to be the worst favorite level of WLDC, because I never passed that section at all. So I played this 2 times, and this is the time that I quit. I bet not even casual Tom can play that shit, you know. I know casual Tom would not be interested in playing that kind of bullshit, because in about 5 minutes, he quit. I actually do rage quit about less than 10 minutes on this garbage, alright? This has to be the worst level in the contrast, and I never get to finish that level, so I'm gonna play this level with save states, alright? So let's read the judges' comments on my worst favorite level, okay? Amethyst says, I love SMW guiding, so this level extremely had my number. It had sprite spam that was used in a good way, and really solid platforming. That being said, the DC and falling out of the waterfall so much did it start to get me, especially towards the end. FrozenQuills. I like the hardest standard level in the contest. I can see it's lost players inspired. Which I do enjoy. By the way, it's not lost players. Well, I never heard of that title called lost players. It's called Super Mario Bros. 2 for super players. And they call it the Lost Levels and All Stars because that game was never released and all these levels were only exclusive in Japan. So that's why it's called Lost Levels, because they really are the Lost Levels, you know, especially Road 9. Alright, let's continue reading. What this level asks is for intrusion, but also very demanding. Either get to the next power up big so you can breeze through some of the level with a firefly, or tank the super hard parts. It feels very, very well designed to hurt you, and it's even fun in a malicious way. However, I was quickly getting tired of the waterfalls from pressing B so much. Jumping out of them is annoying as well. Even when you can't get the rhythm of it down, the first mushroom is also in a literal coin flip, which is very fun to lose. Yep, tried getting that mushroom, I couldn't get it. So a few of the parts are barely doable. Every instance of a tiny platform with a hammer throwing it, while it feels amazing to get by them without getting hit, it's so precise that it felt more luck based than skill. A midpoint, again, checkpoint. You mean checkpoint, not midpoint, it's checkpoint. A midpoint would have been benefited the level. Nevertheless, this is certainly a unique level that could bring the attention of professional Mario players. Now, I think SMW did call it midpoint, but we refer it as checkpoint, alright? Alright, JupiHornet. Oh boy, it's the exact kind of level that I was afraid of. I said this in an earlier review, but I generally dislike SMW guided style levels. I find the insanely tight maneuvers really tiring, especially when the Hammer Bros and Red Piranha Press get involved, and I just don't like the type of trollish level design that guided Lost Levels is absolutely full of. That said, I did get this level in earnest try for about 2 hours, and there were a few tries where I managed to get up, and when I thought was the end, the section with the single tile waterfalls around the last Dragon Court is, only to get past the segment once and then die because there were actually 3 more screens after it. Needless to say, this level is a bit much for me. Kind of a shame, honestly. With that being said though, I don't hate the level design here. There are enough mushrooms to spread around to keep things mostly reasonable, and you can get the firefly if you manage to make it past the first Hammer Bro, which makes the rest of the level much easier. And then there are a few breathier areas that allows you to mentally prepare for the upcoming setups. The level design clearly had a lot of thought and put into it. However, I do think the level gets a bit too punishing towards the end, mostly because the aforementioned single tile waterfall setups. I'm not even sure how to get those without either a firefly or a forced hit. Now, the waterfalls, I forgot about the waterfalls. Now, they were a bit janky in SMW because there are no waterfalls in SMW, so it's actually a custom block, but it feels kind of janky, alright? Alright. Also, the level's first mushroom will sometimes bug out and go right through the blocks to the right of it when I'm not pretty sure it's not supposed to do that. This is especially frustrating because that mushroom is necessary if you want the fire flower. Okay, so that's my top 3 worst levels in WLDC. A point cave to point home, escapade, and Jiri Jutai. Now before I get to the next category, we're gonna go on. Let's go back to number 6, called Super Mario. I can't even pronounce it because it has 0, so It's not a O, it's a 0, as in Mario, right? Alright. Oh, let's go back because you know the section with the 3 pipes. Well, I play this casually, and only to find out that that it's actually the end, which means I was very close to beating that level, right? Despite it's JupiHornet's most favorite, the gameplay, I mean, this part, yeah, it seems pixel perfect because it's pixel perfect that you have to push the button while you're running, all right? So, yep, just like that. And the part with the what the P switch is, that yeah, same result. You have to time it perfectly, but I don't know the intended way of beating it, you know. Yeah, beating that puzzle. Cause I was hoping it's not gonna be any puzzles after that one doing the 3 pipes. So I came very close to beating it, and as a result, the level's kind of fun and challenging, you know. Cause I really like these puzzle style levels, but yeah, I did quit on a very last puzzle. And yeah, there was the 3-up moon, and that's how the level's beaten. All right. Okay, so let's go to the top 3 frustrating levels. Okay. Let's get on to it. Okay, let's get on to it. My third favorite frustrating levels is Howling Peaks. Now, first of all, let me say this something for a quick moment, because before I go on with that, let me say this, that in the rankings list, Frozen Ice Castle is at the very bottom. Okay, you may be thinking, how come Frozen Ice Castle is not your worst favorite? Well, the reason it's not my worst favorite because this thing is actually beatable. And yeah, I know, it's a bit tough, and the backgrounds are bland, and not much creativity to it. So Frozen Ice Castle is not one of my favorite levels. Not one of my favorite worst levels on that list. So yeah, it did have very low score in the contest, but it was kind of fun playing it. So, but I did rage quit, you know. I did rage quit because of time constraints. So I'm saying, oh, I don't have, I don't have the patience to beat Frozen Ice Castle because that level requires to get 5 dragon coins and then go to the boss room. So yeah, that's why I gave it another shot and I beat it. Yeah, it's beatable. So yeah, so Frozen Ice Castle, right? But anyway, Howling Peaks is my third favorite frustrating level, right? The reason I said that because it's not that good. It's not really a good level, okay? All right, so the castle part, when you go down the pipe from the water, yeah, it was aggravating shit, alright? With the cooligans, with the disco shells, and getting the fire flower just to get to another area, and you have 200 seconds? What? Are you kidding me? 200 seconds? Just to get the fucking key and go up the pipe and then unlock it? No. That was bullshit right there. That was bullshit design. And remember the blind run that I couldn't find the pipe, you know? Yeah, cause the coins does not indicate where the pipe is, you know? I mean, of course the dialogue did, you know, helped me a bit with a pipe is though, but again, it's absolute shit. Okay, even a boss battle is fucking frustrating. So it made me scream so hard that I couldn't beat the boss, despite that they shoot fire and there's a bunch of traps around you. So let's read the judges' comments. Amethyst. The level is very pretty and was kind of enjoyable. My major issues were that detracted from it were largely based on the introduction of custom things with no explanation. I've never seen one of those rideable disco shows before, for one, and I completely walked past the Shovel Knight style checkpoint before the boss, because I had no idea if it was a checkpoint and had to play the whole level over again after I died to the boss. Good aesthetics are important, but changing things to accept what a player who usually looks out for normal SMW checkpoints completely misses a key part of the level. There's another altogether. Anyway, it's a very good level that IMO needed a bit more signposting. Now the checkpoint. I found a checkpoint right away, blind. Okay, so yeah, I knew about checkpoint designs. Alright. FrozenQuills. Interesting settings and fantastic atmosphere, but the design could use some work. Introductory area is mostly fun, as well as a little NPC puzzle section. However, the hideout is odd in that you only have 200 seconds to complete it, and the open design made me think you have to look around and thus waste time. There were also some awkward moments in there. I did not know you have to jump on the surfing shells to use them. It's very easy to knock them off their way. And the way back with the Firefly was a bit awkward due to a cramped jump. Yep, true, okay. Also unfortunate that if you mess up the hideout, you have to do the whole intro session over again, slowly becoming a man-doomed and repetitive task. I find it odd there was another section after a hideout, which didn't really add much except a mild fear of dying because there was no checkpoint. Yep, I felt the same way too. And at least now, FrozenQuills is a checkpoint. Alright. The boss after the checkpoint has a similar issue of repeating mundane things that we need to go through the cutscene over and over to refight the snow baddies. The fight is pretty fun and doable though. While I did enjoy the presentation a lot and the general ideas, plus bosses are fun and interesting, there are quite a few things that we can design mostly involving less than ideal checkpoints. Okay, and JupiHornet. This level looks really good, and that's basically everything else I have to say about it. The level is arguably the biggest example of misplaced effort in this content, because while the presentation is great, it really feels like there wasn't enough thought to put into level design. There were several bad design decisions here. The cave section at the beginning that serves no real purpose. The fact that the way to progress into the main level is via an invisible pipe, and no, the coin indicators alone are not nearly obvious though. The extremely janky rainbow shell sprites that don't add anything to the level except annoyance. The complete lack of a checkpoint of any sort until the boss, despite you have to go through 3 different sections. A Yoshi's house executing Lord Fill area to get said boss. The fact you have to watch the boss's intro cutscene every time you die to it. And yeah, this level's a mess, not a fan. Alright. Alright. My second most frustrating favorite level is Glacier poop. Yep, I said this because on the final episode of WLDC, the checkpoint area is extremely frustrating and annoying too. It took me almost 30 minutes to complete the checkpoint section, which is annoying because the controls and the platforms, the glacier platforms, they don't move with you. So that's a fatal flaw for this level. And the part where you have to get the key to complete the level, it's very frustrating. So it fucks me over. It fucks me up. Okay, it kind of fucked me up. So I'm gonna read what Amethyst says. Extremely vibing with the platform in this level. Really good use of the gimmick duo. Definitely deserves a spot in my top 3. And it's true, it is Amethyst's favorite level. But it's not my favorite level, right? It's not my best favorite. It's fucking frustrating, alright? So I have to keep dying over and over and over again until I complete it. And you talk about 3 minutes. You complete the stage in 3 minutes. Max minutes. Well, no, it took me more than 30 minutes to beat it. So I have no idea what the max minute means. Maybe I should read the contest entry first. So yeah, so it sucks. It fucking sucks, alright? It sucks, okay? Let's go to SMW Central. So I want to know what that max minute means. That forum is in the trash, alright? We'll be right back after these messages. We're going to commercial break.
Keep your eye on the...
Watch your air.
Watch your air.
Welcome back to WLDC, and yeah, I'm looking at SMW Central. Look at this right there. It says your level should not exceed 5 minutes to beating the perfect line, meaning without death from front to back. Yeah, so it's not a perfect run, no. Fuck. And what about Winter Stadium? What the fuck, man? What about Winter Stadium? Because I know my level's too damn short, but still, there are no pits and there are no enemy spam going on. But yeah, you know, I feel like I've been cheated, you know, over this. You know? Well, let's read FrozenQuills and the level is called Glacier Poop, okay? Excuse me. It's really the carbonated bubbles. This feels like a really difficult special level that Nintendo would have made. It's very well designed. It consists entirely of multiple action puzzle segments where the player has to figure out how to use and bypass the moving glaciers with increasing difficulty. Sprites are well placed for specific purposes. Yep, true. Even the Koopas with their shells help out killing the upcoming chucks. Yep, that's exactly what I did. But yeah, I'll bring the shell like all the way to the key part of the chucks. Really fucking annoying, you know. I really like how the flow in the progression of the obstacles. Yoshi coins are placed in decent out of the way areas just like Nintendo would have done. I think the last setup has a bit of Big Mario discrimination when swimming past the upside down glaciers. It's a lot harder to let Mario descend through the water while big, which I never did. I think you need to do a Kaizo shell trick to get up above the blocks, which is why they have a muncher here. It's a lot harder to let Mario descend through water while big, while also moving avoiding the glaciers, especially with how tight the timings are. You should decide. This is a wonderful Nintendo-esque level. Atmosphere is SMW, but the Dark Hip exhibit is the best. Alright, JupiHornet. Really solid level. I think the level does a great job of squeezing everything it can out of its gimmick. I do think certain maneuvers are a bit a pain to get past and maybe the part with the key at the end, but otherwise this was very fun and satisfying level that I really don't have many complaints about. That said, I do wish something other than vanilla cave theme was used for the music here. Oh well. As in what? What theme? What theme do you suggest? You mean the Super Mario Brothers All Stars cave theme? Yeah, either 2 USA or all of them, you know. But they do play the same music though, the cave theme. You know, the underground. Alright. My worst favorite level? No, not favorite. We did worst. My worst frustrating level, my most frustrating level in the contest is Ice Cap Zone. Oh boy. Yep. Ice Cap Zone, it really pisses me off a lot, you know. Yeah, I gave the ROM to Casual Tom, and guess what? Yep, he didn't beat it either, so... Yeah, Casual Tom didn't even came close to the checkpoint. And yeah, these fucking sprite killer things, it's a total pain, and the obstacles were a mess. Especially the checkpoint section. Yeah, the other half is a pain, and I never made it, and I rage quit after the Monty Mo jump. That made me mad, because after I'd done all of this bullshit, you come to an area, you have to jump through these infinite Monty Mo's, and you fall down the pit, and that really made me quit, you know, stop playing Ice Cap Zone, because this is how shit the level is, you know. Yeah, it's not designed correctly, and yeah, this is right before I look at the judges section though, but let's read it. Amethyst. Yeah, not really sure what this has to do with Sonic besides the music. I really don't like the Sprite Destroyer orb that much, but it was used okay here. Exteriors were a bit rough. Now FrozenQuills. The introduction to the Sprite Killing Ball and its limited uses is very well done. I really like how the first half is designed such that it doesn't require the ball if the player is willing to take a hit. Yeah, I did that so much times. It allows the gimmick to be somewhat optional but still encourage it. The second half introduces the consistent modes, which I found to be a nuisance. At first they became more fun once I started chain jumping on them. The level gets more difficult by requiring the Sprite Killer here. In fact, it might have been a bit too big of a jump in difficulty with so many modes and such running around. With some big unfortunate things that happened to me while spawning issues, missing poison mushrooms, and the soft lock at the last Sprite Killer gate. The soft lock is especially painful since you have to wait. Out of the timer. Yep. Yeah, good thing the time's not infinite, because that's a very huge loss to the point. There's also the part with the content modes and 2 fallen platforms that felt fairly difficult to read. Nevertheless, this is still decently fun despite design and difficult issues. Presentation is also nice. Now, JupiHornet kind of helped me there to pass that level before Frozen Shock. Now, JupiHornet, I'll just get right to the point. Aside from the level that got disqualified for having a little Kaizo boss, this was the easily most frustrating level in the contest for me. I might have died that much in this level, but let me tell you, I absolutely could not stand playing this. Now, I don't think the Sprite Killer gimmick was inherently a bad one after I made a level with myself a while back, but the problem with this level, it gives you absolutely no room for error, like Kuja Killer said in the comments section. On top of making you perform maneuvers like that, a really awful wall hopping thing in the second half. all that really had to be done is to make this bearable, was allowed to take an extra hit in each part, so either allow the sprite to take 4 hits or put 2 red blocks or thumbs or whatever at the end. But as it is, the level is too unforgiving. It's very frustrating to constantly have to restart segments because you accidentally clip the edge of an enemy, which is not helped at all by the enemy's selection. And the thorns and poison monsters are fun, but agile enemies like jumping Koopas and custom muscle moves are not the ideal for a level like this. Also, this level definitely wasn't tested properly. You can actually skip the second half by entirely jumping over the pipe in the checkpoint, which I found out by accident. Which, by the way, I never found that out, you know, because that was frustrating. Your mind is clouded with you thinking about beating the level, but you never actually think about jumping over the pipe. But actually, I did thought about that, but it's just not in my mind to do so, right? I could have jumped over the pipe, but I rage quit anyway. Alright. And you could soft lock yourself in the second half if you accidentally kill the Koopa at the end with the Sprite Killer, which is pretty easy to do. This could have been fixed by making a nearby pipe into a reset pipe, but that wasn't down there. So yeah, overall, this is not a good level. The concept of it is fine, and I wouldn't say it's completely unsaturated. I think the actual design needs a lot of work and much more testing before this could even be considered decent. The accessories aren't very good either. Checkpoint areas particularly is a bit eye-searing. Okay. Now, before I get to the top 3 most favorite levels, I think we should go to the WLDC Judges Lounge. We're gonna play Amethyst level. Alright, so we're going to Amethyst level. Alright, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Oops, wait a minute. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to change the controller. Oh, it's open there. Okay. There you go. All right. All right. There we go. So, this is Bowser's Castle. I think I should leave now. Okay. Amethyst's room. Okay, so, okay. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So let's see what level Amethyst made. Okay. Excuse me. What the hell? Who is that? Who is that supposed to be? This sprite. Who is the sprite supposed to be? Amethyst? And let me tell you something. Is Amethyst actually a female? Man. Alright. Bunch of... Oh, yeah, it is a female. Another retry section. Too bad you can't exit though. You know what? Fuck this level. Nope. 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 It looks like Kaizo shit too. Fuck. I hate Kaizo levels, man. Ugh. Fuck. Fuck this level, man. I hate Kaizo levels. I'm not good at Kaizo shit, man. Fuck. Ugh. Alright. Alright, here's a alright. The level is not created by Amethyst, but the character is based on that. It was actually called Super Amethyst Rocks by Shovda. Shovda is a transgender Kaizo player. So basically he or she made Kaizo levels and gave it to Amethyst. Yeah, fuck that shit, man. I think Amethyst is a Kaizo player, so fuck this level and fuck this game, because I'm not good at Kaizo, you know. All right, so let's talk about my top 3 favorite levels, okay? Okay. All right, the bronze favorite level belongs to Winter Sakura Night. That's one of my 3rd favorite levels, and I really like the music, the gameplay. Yeah, it felt like an actual casual level, you know, because it's a really good damn level too. But the only thing I don't like that much is the snowball chase. You know, it's kind of awkward, you know, and there's these blocks that teleports the sprite, and on top of that, if you run too far from the snowball, then it disappeared, and you have to go back over again. Now, Went to Sakura Nights, one of my favorite levels, so let's just read the judges' comments. Amethyst. Let's see what she says, okay? Weird level, regular platforming in the first section, and a completely unrelated gimmick after felt jarring. Ooh, okay. Alright, FrozenQuills. I like how the level slowly combined various platforming elements with the patchouli plants, contributing to a decent difficulty curve. There were a few interesting setups with the pink lava as well. I really enjoyed the first half. The second half through is funny. A drastic tone change where the player needs to rush through a cave while run away from the giant snowballs. Though it's kind of weird that snowballs sort of teleport through blocks. There isn't anything else in terms of enemies here. But still, I had some fun. It kind of ended too soon, honestly. The second half is really short and didn't like much sense. We love the outdoor atmosphere. Okay. JupiHornet. I mean, there are beginnings of stuff in here, but the level honestly just feels unfinished. The fourth section is a typical WOP, and then it sends you to another, completely unrelated section where you likely to immediately get hit by the snowball gimmick because it basically appears directly on top of you. Not only that, the snowball itself seems to be quite broken. The way it teleports through blocks instantly is janky, and it just feels awful to navigate around. If the whole level was more like that fourth section, it would probably fare much better. The cave section is not very funny, honestly, just drags the level down a lot. Okay, so my second favorite level. I bet Kuja Killer and I agreed that this one goes to Code Canyon. Because it's a level that has a breath meter while swimming underwater. It got really nice creativity here. And once the breath meter goes down, the character sprite changes color. On top of that, your character moves kind of slow too, feeling that feeling that you actually could. Yeah, what I mean is the speed drastically slows down your character. While the meter drops down, alright, and there was some blocks that warms up your character, alright. Technically, it's not the breath meter, alright. It's more like an ice meter, but still, okay. But you can't drown in icy water, so that's what I like about Code Canyon. It's one of my second favorite levels, so. Let's go with Amethyst, see what she says. This level is fairly frustrating, but has some good ideas. I didn't like how much wetting I had to do with the layer 2 water in the second session, but that's probably a bit Kaizo poisoning kicking in. Solid effort. Alright, FrozenQuills. Bumpties are a great fit for this kind of level. It makes a mistake, not instant death, but only slightly closer to death. This is especially evident when the enemy choices most throw snowflakes that freeze Mario. Added ducking is another heat option of a clever choice, giving more flexibility to the player. I don't know how ducking actually warms your character. I'll talk about it in real life. I mean, ducking does not warm your body up unless you be wearing like a fucking coat or fur coat. Then it'll probably make sense. I mean, I'll probably see like a Statue of Liberty cosplay, like freezing itself to death, you know, and ducking too, you know. It's pretty easy as a whole, but quite enjoyable. The gimmick fits well with the water section. It makes them more excited, and the evolution with the layer 2 on is neat. The only critique I have, there really isn't a wow factor in this level, but this is a still joy to play as is. Oh wait, JupiHornet. This is a level that has the potential to be extremely frustrating, but a few very smart design decisions preventing that from happening. Firstly, thank you for not allowing enemies to both freeze and damage you at the same time. Because let me tell you, this level would have been a whole different experience if those cluster bullet shooters could kill you outright. Yep, I think there are some levels like that though. Really fucking annoying. Having the temperature gauge basically operate as a second health bar was a great idea because it allowed For enemies like the cluster bullet shooters and the ice brothers pose a threat while also not being completely insufferable. Overall, this one was fun. Whoever made this definitely has some really clever ideas. Okay, all right. So here's my #1 favorite level of the WLDC contest, and no, it's not aggressive shovelers, because that level is shit. Okay, it's a shit level to me, but I beat it. But it's a shit level because it's not a perfect run, you know. It's not perfect, so I can't play that one perfectly because it's absolute shit. Okay, sorry about that, 6 Corby, but your level is not my favorite. All right. So, my most favorite level belongs to Summit Fever. I really like that level, despite that it really had good atmosphere, the background and the music. Yeah. It's not super frustrating, but although in my blind mind, I was getting frustrated because I say it's a shit level, but it's not. It just takes patience, you know. It was quite challenging, but it looks like it's a good casual level in my taste, right? It just takes a bit patience, you know. And let me tell you, the last part with the bumpties, you had no idea that you can't hold the directional button, you know. I just run through the spikes and beat the level. Okay, so let's read what Amethyst says. What a gorgeous level! It managed to use 2 of my most hated sprites, balloons and bungees, and actually interesting in a good way. Seriously, well done. FrozenQuills. I like how the level introduces a few concepts early: balloons, bungees, hanging balloons, and then extends upon them later on. Bumpties and hanging balloons are especially a good combo with how the level is structured. The level gets mildly more difficult after the checkpoint. Balloon to balloon transfers are done well with increasingly more interesting obstacle formations. The Yoshi coins are a fun side treat. Getting the fire flower unlocks a few coins, but not much else. A message of demonstration that you shouldn't hold any direction buttons while making the big bumpy jump near the end would have been nice, but it's not common knowledge. But that same jump plus obstacles are the best part of the level. So yeah, this has some nice straightforward design. It's not wow worthy, but it's enjoyable. Atmosphere is cool, but the mountain score in the first house is weird. Okay, and JupiHornet. First things first, is far by the best looking level in this contest. Seriously, it's not even remotely close. Fantastic genre graphics, as aside, dude. This is such a fun level. I really like the usage of its balloon gliders, and the whole thing is just very satisfying to play. I do think the level had a few unnecessary setups, namely the hammer bro right after the checkpoint, and the placements of the bunties are a bit evil. But overall, this level felt really good to play, and it got a lot of views on its gimmicks. Really nice job on this one. Definitely one of the most fun levels in the contest for me. Okay, so that's it. This is my most favorite of the WLDC series. Thank you for watching, by the way. And I'll be posting some WLDC casual levels. I'll be posting all of the levels that requires you save states, you know. Thank you for watching the WLDC series. This is the end of the WLDC series. This is Ron Cheneke, Insectduel speaking, and see you on the next game. Take care. Goodbye.